In a province that was once considered a hotbed of the long-running communist insurgency in Davao Region, a highly innovative local initiative that directly addressed the plight of the people at the grassroots, especially the marginalized sectors, has been making a huge difference in helping foster sustainable peace and in creating conflict-resilient and development-ready communities. Following the successful implementation of various peace and development programs over the recent years that led the province of Davao Oriental to be declared as development-ready and conflict-manageable area, the provincial government felt the need to further develop a strategy that would ensure sustained gains on peace and order. In November 2016, Governor Nelson Dayanghirang launched his flagship program called the Kakaisang Lingkod Bayan ng Davao Oriental, Barangay Outreach Caravan, or NLDBOC, the provincial government's all-out campaign on peace and development that envisions to put an end to the long-running insurgency waged by the Communist New People's Army rebels and the proliferation of violent extremism in the area. Using a peaceful and non-violent approach, this program banks on providing genuine public service and good governance in countering insurgency, as the governor believes that insurgency is not a military problem but rather a political concern, and there is no better way to address conflict and insurgency other than good governance, wherein the local government unit is at the forefront. This comprehensive program, which puts premium on social services, demonstrates that in order to win the trust and boost people's confidence to the government, it must make its presence felt by the people.
Kay sukat-sukat, karon pagyod ay tabo nga dunay na ingon ani nga karaban. Halos tanang ahinsya na diri sa among barangay.
By propelling government agencies into action, showing a compassionate kind of public service that earnestly reaches out to all.
Ako kung luwas kalipay, ako kayo. Maban ganin ningon nga, sus kalipay sa kinabuhi sa maya, ginatiman data, itangga data nila, wala data kasama. Wala na ang dati sa mga.
Through this program, the provincial government has institutionalized a proactive approach of reaching out to the isolated, marginalized, and underserved constituents of the province, rather than just passively staying in comfortable offices at the provincial capital and waiting for the people to come. Under this program, basic government services and development projects are directly delivered to the people, especially those living in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas with high poverty incidence and communities in or recovering from situations of crisis or armed conflict.
Kung kumparahon nga kami mo adto pa sa among center o hospital, maayo gyud ni kay di ang katong di makaabot og pamasahe, dito daghang pa kay gastuhon. Lisod ang panahon na binaglayo. Salamat gyud mi dako gyud nga kuana mo sa kuan para sa gikan sa gobyerno.
Services being offered at the Barangay Outreach Caravan include medical and dental services, eye checkup, provision of farm seedlings and implements, and fishing gears, distribution of school supplies, food packs, free consultations, and legal aid to farmers, processing of marriage and birth certificates, registration to PhilHealth and SSS, registration for motorcycles, registration for people with disability that entitles them to government welfare assistance, job placement and employment services, among many others. The caravan has also become a perfect venue to hold information dissemination and advocacy campaigns on a myriad of issues such as anti-drug abuse, road safety and environmental protection. It is also gearing communities to become resilient to disasters caused by climate change through the Disaster Preparedness Campaign. The program also aims to empower members of the community by transforming them to become peace advocates. Incorporated in the caravan is the advocacy campaign on preventing and countering violent extremism through education that primarily target the youth, as they are the most vulnerable sector to radical influences and recruitment due to peer pressure and the influence of social media. In the implementation of the comprehensive program, Convergence and Partnerships of public service players play a big part. The provincial government forged a strong convergence with 71 peace and development partners consisting of provincial government offices and departments, private groups, civil society organizations, and national government agencies that include the province's foremost partners in peace and development like the Philippine Army, the police, and the Department of Interior and Local Government. Each of the participating agencies is pooling its resources such as logistics and transportation costs, thus maximizing government funds and resources, embodying the spirit of true sharing of responsibilities for the welfare of the people. Since its implementation, the Barangay Outreach Caravan has already reached out to 92 out of the 183 villages in all 10 towns and 1 city. To date, it has already benefited 317,000 beneficiaries. Throughout all these efforts, the NLDBOC has created significant impacts. Since it was launched, people in the villages are seen warmly embracing the program. Children living in conflict areas now become friendly with government troops and the police who accompany the personnel of participating government agencies. A strong indication of how effective the approach is in the effort of winning the hearts and minds of the people. It has, in effect, changed the image of the local military and police force to agents of real change, peace, and progress.
Diha pa na akong nakita nga ang mga batanon, murag na sila mga tagduol-duol sa mga sundalo. Lahi na sa unang panahon kay sa unang panahon mahadlok man sila sa sundalo. Pero karon murag dili na gid sila yung mga mahadlok kunon, makidula-dula sila sa sundalo, makidistorya sila. So sa lakod dako kayo og epekto ang mga kursa nga naa karon. Wala na ko'y mga ingon na dunay kahadlok.
Having witnessed the government's sincere efforts in public service, the people in the communities are now warmly participating in community affairs and have become advocates of peace. In fact, a study conducted by a team of independent researchers concludes a high satisfaction rate among beneficiaries who say that it is a big help for them as it offers much needed government services, especially in their communities that are far from the economic center. Partner agencies are also thankful to be able to reach out to their clients in the far-flung villages, whom they could not have reached otherwise should they have relied on their own limited resources.
With this caravan, naa na siya. No? Dako kayo siya og impact sa atong mga membro kay tungod dili na sila kinahanglan mobaba no dito sa office sa PhilHealth sa siyudad sa Mati kay kita ang PhilHealth mismo gidala na namo ang services sa PhilHealth diri sa ilang barangay.
Dako kaayo ang impact no sa NLDBOC sa ato ang sa particularly sa amo ang ahensya sa Department of Labor and Employment tungod kay naka-reach out ni sa far-flung barangay sa mga lagi mga barangay ang mga programa sa opisina nga naalang sa Mati na-extend ngadto sa mga lagi nga barangay ug daghan nga mga constituents ang nakatagan sa serbisyo namo no.
The caravan also served as an eye-opener for the government as it saw firsthand the poor condition of roads in the villages. Thus, the provincial government crafted the Provincial Road Network Development Plan to prioritize the construction and improvement of the road network to connect conflict areas with the rest of the community. Without access, the basic services will not reach these areas where the poorest of the poor in the province lives. The caravan also shows the other side of governance to the rebels and their sympathizers, like compassion, understanding, and patience, rather than running after them in offensives. complemented by other peace and development programs such as Philippine Army-led Community Support Program. The caravan becomes an opportune time for the government to call on to those who are still involved in the communist movement to surrender to the folds of the law while assuring them of the various government programs upon their surrender. The sincerity demonstrated by the government on top of all of these collective efforts on peace and development have resulted to the significant increase in the number of Communist New People's Army rebels who have surrendered.
Dili na kamo magduwa-duwa. Dili na kamo magduwa-duwa. Kung nakakapag makita nila na FA, hindi diretsyon. Istorya sila. Kung gusto nyo magbalik sa gobyerno, balik na ako sa gobyerno.
Since 2016, a total of 161 Communist New People's Army rebels have returned to the folds of the government and have started to build new lives through the benefits of the Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program, or ECLIP, and the provincial government-run Happy Home, a halfway house for former rebels, which provides comprehensive services for the former rebels' transition to civilian life. These peace efforts have also resulted to the massive surrender of 1,020 members of the underground mass organizations.
Hagiwa na mayo, pasurrender na mayo. Apriya ka ng opisina para matabang kung panahon na siya o surrender. Padayaw yung programa ng kanatang gobyerno. Kung ikaw mo surrender, maklaro ngayon na ikaw impihi tagaan ka ngayon ng 15,000 pesos. Pauyaw ka sa Happy Home ngadto sa Mati City at tutanan niyang mga impihi na surrender. Kung gusto mo mag-eskwela, sa ALS, pa-eskwelahon ka ulit. Gusto mo mahimong karpintero, welder, mekaniko, pa-eskwelahon ko sa TESDA, libre. Bago ka ubuhian, tagaan na kayo sa nagdugang na 50,000 pesos para panginabuhian. Ako yung kaniyawan na programa ng gobyerno. Kaya may tuyo na ito, makikira, patsyon, yung pangihan ng Pilipino. Ilabi pa kaibanan na ito. Hagiwa mayo. Dahamayo ka na, kung nga ito kang mayor, tabangan ka. Mientras tanto, huwag ka mawawag siyang panahon na kamo magabasok.
Becoming a model strategy for peace and development, other provinces have started to send teams to benchmark Davao Oriental's implementation of the NLDBOC. Some local government units within the province have also implemented their own version of the caravan, adopting the same system and principles with the NLDBOC. The caravan has also opened opportunities for the government to explore more avenues for complementation. Having the same vision as the province, national agencies have also expressed their interest to join and become part of the endeavor. Moreover, this approach complements the national government's localized peace talks, where its narrative on genuine peace can already be validated by the people in the villages when they become direct beneficiaries of development interventions. This best practice of the province doesn't come unnoticed. The nagkakaisang lingkod bayan ng Davao Oriental Barangay Outreach Caravan has largely contributed to the province being awarded as the sole provincial winner of the 2017 Seal of Good Local Governance Award. Also, just recently, Governor Dayan Hirang's outstanding contribution to peace and development through this flagship program led him to become one of the regional awardees for the 2018 Presidential Lingkod Bayan. While addressing short-term and immediate needs of the people, the Outreach Caravan serves as the initial phase of the provincial government's long-term interventions that will further push efforts on poverty reduction, conflict resolution leading to growth and sustainable peace. To date, the Outreach Caravan, a simple, grassroots solution, has led to the crafting of way-forward steps involving inclusive development strategies, programs, and projects for the long-term development in the communities, as the provincial government believes that when people's basic needs are met, there will be less room for conflict, as there will be more space for peace to grow and development to flourish.